Hello, David. Finally, you hit first. Ha! Everybody shows at the same time. Reese, let me close this. It's chilly again here. It's like if I'm living in Canada or something. Gee. Hello, Tambi. David says, I saw your posted a story. Haha, very nice. What did you saw? Tell me, what did you see? Is that the one that is like a, mm, uh, what is it, GIF thingy, like just motions, but there's no words? Um, I think YouTube sent me something, says, oh, here is your, I don't know, GIF, use it for promotion. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just put something there. Ah, yeah. Okay, so how does it show? When I put that thing on, you guys see it where? Where do you see it? Please explain to me, because I don't know the use of it, and I don't know what shows. What did you see? Did you see a title? Is there anything more I should say in there? Like, I could say something about the, I don't know, the live talk, or the title of the new coming, soon coming video. What did you see? How do you use it? What does it tell you? I just want to know how to use it. Oops. Oops. I don't want to die on live. That's funny. I don't want to die live. So what do you want to do? Die dead? I should be careful when I drink tea. Who knows? Even tea drinking could be dangerous to your health. It's a very good tea. I like this. I think of all the chamomile teas, I like this one of the favorites. It's chamomile tea, organic, by Stash. There we go. All right, let's do the greetings here. So David says, yep, I had to take the care to the mechanic. It sounds like, what's that famous actor who plays in, I forgot, I'm blank. He played in Liar Liar. He's very famous and very popular, and I watched all his movies. What's his name? Anyhow, I'm blank. So you had to take the care to the mechanic yesterday, or you in the car? Been around the horses too long, you forgot how to spell, I guess. Daniel says, hi, Mehran. Daniel 33 from Amsterdam. Guten Tag. I mean, not Dutch, but close to, maybe. Again, he says, two questions this time. All right? We'll get back to you in a second. You'll be the first to attend to the questions. And then we have Luis Yosri. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name right. Says, hello, how are you doing? Well, thank you. Good. And how are you? And let me know, guys. Remember, let me know where you're tuning in from, how young you are, and if you're a man, woman, what your gender is. So these will all help me to kind of put a geographical place or demographics, knowing what my demographics are. Daniel says, do you have any tricks on how to present in front of a big crowd? I'm a bit nervous about it. Thanks, Mehran. Oh yeah, we'll get that sorted out. It's no big deal. And he says, you're the best. Well, for that, I will make an extra effort, and thank you. Tammy says, I saw it on your channel too. Really? Like, where do you guys see it? How it's visible? What people have to do to see it? Or does it pop up as a feed? Does it come to you as a, I don't know, feed, as a news or something? I don't know how it works. David says, on my mobile, it's on the subscription page. So you got to come to my channel, then you will see it, or it sends it to you because you're a subscriber to see it. MA says, hi Mehran. Hello, MA. Remember, guys, remind me by simply saying, where are you tuning in from? Male or female, M or F, your gender, and how old you are. 3 things. Like M33, male 33, UK. All right. Or F, Florida, I mean F 23 or 44, 45, Florida. Just 3 little thingies. Helps me out to know who I'm talking to, at least in some ways. Yes, David, the car. Ah, Jim Carrey, there you go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Tambi. Achilles25 says, hello again. I went to your site, but it did not tell me how to set up a one-on-one. Yeah, you got to click on talk to me for consultation. When you go on my site, you scroll down or click on the first landing page, it'll scroll down, and then you have options, different things. One of them is me and my son standing beside each other, and underneath says, talk to me for consultation. If you click on that, then you'll have options. Which package, how many hours, this and that, so forth. Then you'll follow it from there. That's for you, Achilles. And now David catching up. David, you should have said that earlier, because I would not have known who you are until you just now said male 23, Dallas, Texas. You know? MA says, Mehran, I feel I do not have the gut to, or the mood to study and work hard. Okay. This is a very important question, since the perseverance is important, but I lost it. I'm not excited anymore. Help me. You are roll. I don't know what that means. You are roll. Don't know what that means. Role model. See the next sentence. Role model to me and inspiring. Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll deal with that too. And Daniel says, when you come live, I get a pop-up on my phone saying Mehran is live. Boom. Oh, that's good. That's what I like to see. But not everybody gets that. That's why our live talks, despite we've got thousands of people watching the videos, or eventually thousands of people, despite the content and quality that we're offering here, which I hear it's quite helpful from many of you, hundreds of you, we don't get more than like 30 people in our live talks. I would have expected it to be thousands, but either people don't get the message or the announcements, or somehow you're still not visible. Somehow. MA says, MA says, I'm trying to put and force myself to focus. And MA says, from Arab world, male 29. Okay. And Daniel says, and then you race to my laptop and bang in the first question in order not to have wait for a long time. Haha, yeah, right. Listen, anything free, you gotta wait. You don't want to wait, go to my site and take a Skype appointment, and you won't have to wait. You'll have schedules. Be on time. Drinking tea here too, by the way. Earl Grey. Oh yeah, it's good. Earl Grey. Earl Grey, hot. That's Captain Picard in Star Trek. All right. It looks like Luis says, so how can you help us to be more confident? Oh, that's a $6 million question, because it's not. I actually answered this question in a different way. That was a different question yesterday we had about how to be motivated and disciplined, which I've actually cut that out and put it as a standalone video. It will be released in a few days. About the confident, that's another question that it needs attention. And Achilles says, is it the Facebook site for the one-on-one? No, Achilles, where have you been? mindthatseekstruth.com. www.mindthatseekstruth.com. That's my site. I just put the link there. That's where you find all those services and all that. Daniel is shouting. And he says, sorry, cap lock. Says, by the way, I found lots of videos on YouTube on how to grow your income on YouTube. Yeah, well, I've watched all those. That's, yeah, I've already taken care of stuff that made sense, and we've done that. It's not that. Somehow, I have no idea. I've seen channels that have just joined in 2016, and already they have a couple of 100,000 subscribers. No clue. And I've watched some of their contents just to see maybe there's a magic. It's just mind-boggling as far as nonsense, like irrelevancy of it. And I've heard that from thousands of you telling me that you've searched the net and you for months, and then after 3-4 months not really finding any answer from any meaningful ways to deal with your situation, you stumble on this because it comes to you not at the first page, it comes at the third or fourth page. Unless you scroll, you won't find me. And then you say, for the first time I'm beginning to see the light, I can move on, I can this and that, so forth. All wonderful things that you say, but what good is it if I'm not visible? So, okay, it looks like it's time for us to start answering questions. So let me go back. I hope, Achilles, you now know where the things are for you to see the site and options. And we move on to the first question. I believe our first question is Daniel. Daniel says, hi, Mehran. Daniel, 33 from Amsterdam. Again, 2 questions this time. One is, when do you know when you're over your ex? And 2, I have a big presentation to give in San Francisco next week for hundreds of people. That's going to be such a fun thing. You'd love it. All right, first things first. How do you know when you're over the X? That's a question. It's like saying, how do you know you're hungry? How do you know that you're full? Look, you're hungry. You buy ingredients. You wash them, prepare them, cook the food according to certain recipe, and you increase and decrease this and that, salt, pepper, whatever it is, and it's prepared, and you make a nice table, sit down, maybe have a cup of tea or later, right on the table, or you're being served with the food in a restaurant. So anyhow, you eat it. It's like asking me, when do you know you're full? You'll know. You don't have the hunger anymore. So when you don't have the hunger for your ex anymore, whether because you recognize your own value, recognize that you have a say in this, recognize that it is you who gave her value, recognize that it was your desire, your ability to desire a woman that made you think that she is so important. Is she desirable, or is it your desire that makes her desirable? Is it the apple that is very important, or is it your hunger that makes the apple important? When you recognize that you have a say in this, that you're the center, you're the boss, you're the one that goes through, allows this to feel the way it makes you feel, the way you feel. It is you who makes this feeling to happen, to come to be. You are in control. It's not like from the outside you have no choice, you're somehow, it's overpowering you. It is you that gives it the power. Your attention, your thoughts, your desire for that woman. Then you go through the video that I made, previously, and also yesterday, which is now trimmed, and it's going to be uploaded as why you want the ex back. Or no, how to stop wanting the ex back. How desire is born and how to stop it. So that video will help you to support this little chat that we have here. So when you recognize all that you are it, you are the one that gives value to her, you are the one who allows missing her to happen, not that you're not in control, you have no say in this, and it is imposed on you. You must feel hungry, you must miss her, you must not be over her because she's the power over you. When you realize this is the way it is you are empowered, you are there, you're the center of everything, you make things happen, and then it is just like this. Turn it off. Because you realize that all I have to do is to eat food. I'm not hungry anymore. So to stay hungry or not stay hungry is up to me. We're not talking about a situation where there's no food around. We're talking about, civilized world and comfort available and so on. In your case, when you realize that it is you allowing yourself to think that you're helpless, that she has the power, rather than that it is your desire that gives her power, it is your desire that makes you not be over your ex, not that you can't be over your ex. You simply think that you shouldn't be over your ex because it's a sin, because it was your own brainchild. It was your choice. It was you. It was something that you wanted, and you're an important person. So what you wanted must have been important. If you're the most important person in the world to you, and you wanted something, and you made that something to be the most important thing in the world because it is you who wanted it, so you made that so big to make yourself feel good and big, And now you fell into that trap that you created by making that thing so big to make yourself feel so big and good. And now you actually think, I've lost something so big and important. It wasn't. You made it important. You created that image of her in your mind about her. She didn't do it on her own. She doesn't have the qualifications. Unless she is the cure for common cold, for cancer, for other diseases, she's the most compassionate of the all in the world, and she takes care of the children, feeds the hungry and elderly, and helps them out, and brings cure and healing to people, and just keeps the world balanced. Unless she's that, she's got no qualifications to be that important. Why is she so important then? You made her important because you're important. You wanted it to reflect, your choice to reflect who you are. So you build that up in your own mind. You went through the whole reason why you want her, the desire, the intimacy, the fact that you want a woman and all that. And then you're so important and your ego made her even bigger than that. And suddenly you were swept away with the wave that you created. And instead of stopping the wave, you're not thinking that the wave is outside of me. I have no control on it. And you think she on herself is an anomaly, is the most amazing thing since sliced bread. And you fail to see, how can I get out of this wonderful thing that you have created in your own mind? Simple. You fill the balloon and lit it up. You still got the string in your hand. Pull it down and let the air out of it. You created it. Deflate it. Simple. Recognize that there's so many wonderful and beautiful women out there that you, having the hunger, the desire, being the instigator, being the source of this hunger, this desire, you can make a big deal out of them, just like you made a big deal out of this one. But what disqualifies them is when they do not want to be with you, when they do not choose to be paid attention to by you, then that disqualifies. That's the time that you simply stop the desire. And it's all up to you. One of the many ways to stop the desire is simply by recognizing the availability of millions of other wonderful, amazing women in this world. And when you simply understand that you have the hunger, you can be hungry for anything you want. Just because you're hungry, that doesn't mean you can only have that one food. You are the one who feels hungry. Therefore, you are the one who can satisfy it. And you are the one who can choose how to satisfy your hunger. Your hunger is your capability. And the satisfaction, the satisfying your hunger is also within your capability. It's your choice, based on your choices. So choose another food to satisfy your hunger. You don't need this one to satisfy your desire. You can have someone else to satisfy everything that you wanted this one to satisfy you with, provide. Friendship, companionship, intimacy, whatever it is that you wanted to provide and give and sacrifice yourself for her comfort. You can do it for someone else who would actually be in tune with you and want to be with you, choose to be with you, not the one that actually doesn't want to now, or did once and now doesn't, and you're thinking, oh, she must be really something that she doesn't want me. That must mean she's better than me. No, it just means she's disqualified. Because number one rule to be qualified for a partner is, for you to choose a woman, or woman choosing, well, whatever your relationships are, is that if they want each other. If they don't, that's the end of it. Move on. It's not the end of the world. Look, there's 7 billion people in this world. None could be the beginning and end of this world. Everyone is a fragment of this life, of this world, not the entirety of it. So when you make one person entirety of your whole world and experience in this life, you're simply being silly. If she doesn't want to be with you, respect that. That's part of being a gentleman, part of being a man. Respect a woman's choice. But that also doesn't mean that don't respect yourself. Also, respect yourself. Meaning, if she doesn't want to be with you, respecting her and respecting yourself is the same. Meaning, you respect her choice and let her and wish her well, let her go. And you respect yourself by not wanting to pursue her. By understanding that it is disrespectful to you to follow a girl who has told you doesn't want you. I don't care why. But it is disrespectful to you to mushy up to her, constantly try to see if she would want you. Why? What's wrong with you? Why are you so lack of confidence? Why? Why? Why is she better than you? Because you want her? That makes her better? What has she done on herself, on her own, to be desirable, to be qualified on her own rather than to be qualified because you desire her? The fact that you want her doesn't make her independently smart or qualified or intelligent or whatever else qualifications you need. You may not know enough and you may choose something that is really not the right choice. But just because you desired it doesn't automatically mean that she's the best choice around. What if you go to a restaurant and you see the menu and you order a food that you don't know what it is? You don't know that food. It's a different country. But because you ordered it, it's supposed to be the best available? No, that's all you knew. You only knew about potato and meat, and that's what you see there, you order that. But if you knew about other ingredients that makes wonderful, delicious food, nutritious food around the world, you would have maybe thought differently. But you don't know it. So the limited knowledge that you have does not mean what you choose based on that limited knowledge is the actual best choice for you. It just means to your knowledge, limited knowledge, that's the best choice. Now, the best choice in your mind tells you, I don't want you. That should already become not the best choice anymore. Why? Because like the food on the menu is too expensive. So I don't care what ingredient is too expensive. I don't want it. I don't have that kind of money. I don't want to spend that kind of money. You must be logical. If someone comes around and tells you, listen, that food that you chose is only potato and meat, but I offer you and I tell you that other one on the menu, wow, and you don't understand what it is, it's got many different nutrients, superfoods, and so on, and delicious and wonderful and light and makes you energetic and all that good stuff. You haven't tried it. That's the right one for you, for your age, for your understanding, for your chemistry and all that so forth. Now, understanding that the knowledge is limited, then you would be open to this new knowledge. And you would go on and explore, and lo and behold, find, holy macaroni, it's right. It's better than that thing that I thought is the best. Because that was the limited knowledge I had about what best is for me. But I didn't know what other things out there are that could be best for me. Now I have that knowledge. And for exploring that knowledge, the first step is the recognizing if the person is qualified or not. And what makes her qualified or not, first and foremost, is when she says, I don't want to be with you. That doesn't mean she's better than you and you should pursue her now. Please want me. No, it means she just told you she's no longer qualified. Because you should only think a woman that is qualified for you is the woman who, among other things, other qualifications that she has to have, she says, yes, I want to pursue a relationship with you. Then you go on and see if she has other qualifications or not. But if she doesn't say that first part of the qualification list, that means you simply should focus on a better recipe that is out there. That's a guideline. So when you recognize that it is you that has given all the importance to her, it is you that have convinced yourself that she's the right choice for you to desire, it is your desire that makes her important, not she on her own with her accomplishments, vast accomplishments in the world, and its contribution to the well-being of the balance of the world makes her to be that important. When you understand that, then you're free from her, because you know it's all centers around you, not around the one that you think you're in love with. You can't be in love with someone who doesn't want you. Why would you? Then you understand that it's not love, that is lust. And lust, so many other sources that you can satisfy that. So that should come secondary. Love and understanding, bonding, and consciousness should come first. And if she says she doesn't want you and she's not compatible, that means that first ingredient to create love in the long term is not even there. The consciousness level bonding is not even there. So you should not pursue that, because there could be a lust and pleasure in there. So on that note, you will easily be able to move on just because she said no. Respect her choice and respect yourself. There is such a freedom in respecting yourself and understanding that you're respectable. You have a choice. You're the boss of you. You don't have to be a slave to your desire just because your desire wants pleasure, and you can get pleasure through intimacy from her, through her, then you think you should follow that your desire. No, don't be a slave to your desire. Your desire wants to fulfill itself, get pleasure to be fulfilled through getting the pleasure, and then your ego gets fluffed. That's all. That's why you think, I can't get over her. Yes, you can. You can't get over your desire for pleasure and fluffing your ego. That's all. It's not her. You got to get over that. Then you automatically get over all these other things that are not qualified and suitable for you. I hope that helps you out on that note. Now, let me have a cup of tea. Sip of tea. We'll go to your second part of the question. All right. Let's go back to Daniel's second part of the question. And he says, and two, I have a big presentation to give in San Francisco next week for hundreds of people. First thing you say, you stand there and say, please make sure you all go to YouTube channel. Plug my channel there. Then you already will be kicked out, and then that's the end of it. So no worries about that. First of all, you got to notice that you're there for a reason. You're there on the podium because you're the expert. You're giving a presentation because you've done a research. You've prepared for it. You know more about that subject than the people who are watching you. That's why you're there. So what is it that you're scared of? What is it that makes you nervous? What? Nervous for what? You're nervous because you're worried about the image they have, or they will have, or they would have of you would be different than the image that you want them to have of you. You should simply don't give a shit about the image. You're not there to show yourself and who you are. You're there to share a certain knowledge, certain research, certain information. That's all. You're focused on delivering and doing justice to the information that you want to communicate. Your presentation is not to the people. Your presentation is to the knowledge, is to the research, is to the presentation itself. You're simply creating something. You're focused totally on being harmonized with that creation, how to set these choreograph the information that you want to set on the table. How to present. You see, remember, you're there for presenting. So you're not there to present yourself. You're there to present the information. So it is very easy. Your relationship there is with the knowledge, with the information that you're interacting with, not with people. That comes afterwards if they have any questions. And who are they that they could actually rattle your cage? Who? Who are they? They're other human beings who get up in the morning and they have to wash their mouth and go to the bathroom and shit and come out and so on. So stop looking at their faces, which they have crossed or this, or they have some kind of an image to make a certain kind of a impression on you about with the image they want to create in your mind about themselves, because that's their shortcomings and insecurities, and they want to cover it up by certain kind of a facial expression. These are their insecurities that they want to differentiate themselves in a hierarchy that I am better than you, because they have all been the same in their life. They have all been compared with other people from their childhood, their schooling, and now there, and even to today's position in their company. They're all conditioned to want to show that I'm more, I'm better, because they're all greedy, looking for positions. They're there for something. Don't buy into it, because see them for who they are. They are those little kids that they're all being compared, and they're now hungry to show that they're somebody, and they try to hide that through the images that they create in your mind through their facial expressions and postures that they take to bamboozle you as if they know what you're talking about, or know more than you, or they knew that themselves. These are just simple people. They're not there, and they're no longer not capable to judging you. You're simply sharing an information that you have researched, and this is it. Whether you like it or not, that's the presentation. Now do what you want to do with it. But I'm not here to be judged. You can't judge me, because who are you? You're a kid. You were all kids, and now you're grown up. And when you feel uncomfortable, it's because you're focusing on their face, and their face is trying to communicate something that is to their advantage to make them feel good and bigger than you. That's what they're trying to do when they look at you. Everybody has that ego that is trying to live and satisfy the ego. Everybody is there is a slave to their egos. Instead, if you read through it and see their soul, see the energy that is making them tick, their psyche. If you focus on their psyche and not their faces and what they're wearing, on where they're sitting and how they're sitting, their position, the posture that is trying to communicate certain kind of a hierarchy to you, then you're all fine, because you see nothing but consciousness. And consciousness of people can never be intimidating, because you're not bamboozled by their ornaments they're hanging on themselves, the clothing, the smell of the perfume, if they're a woman, or cologne. They present certain kind of an echelon, what they're wearing, what car they drive, how they're sitting, none of that shit, because you're beyond that physical entity, and none of that physical entity can impress you to leave any kind of a expression on you. Then you're free, because you see through them, and through their consciousness you can see there's all kind of shit like everybody else is in the world since their childhood is in their consciousness, and what they're putting is an image out for you. They're not showing their consciousness to you, they're just showing an image. And they're trying to negotiate life and get some kind of a value for themselves through these imageries that they're creating by their posturing and their facial expressions. Don't buy into that. See through it, that person who's actually sitting there and looking at you doesn't know shit. Or if he does, it's just some other person who's got some information. And information is always limited, so none of them are any deities or gods or any of that sort, because they're all limited in information. If you think you're limited, somebody might know more than you, you can be damn sure that there's somebody knows more than them, and there's always somebody else, because knowledge is limited as far as you're concerned, but there's so much more. The knowledge that they each have is limited, but there's so much more knowledge that they can have, and they don't have it. So they have nothing over you, or they cannot impress you if you really focus on their consciousness. That's one thing. Second, if you feel uncomfortable or be in the middle of it, you feel somebody's looking at you, or however, there's so many people, look at their shoes. Look at their shoes. You can see they're all as needy as the next person. They had to put a socks on, they had to put shoes on, otherwise they couldn't walk. And look at their shoes. They're human beings, nothing more. Nothing more. You are impressed and nervous when you want to do presentation because you think the ones who are sitting there, they're more than you. They're not human beings. They're above a human. They're more than what you think you are. They're not. Look at their shoes. They had to wear shoes. They have 2 feet. They have shoes. They get hungry and they're going to go to the bathroom. They're just other human beings. Nothing to impress you. Unless they want to be nice to you. Then that's impressive. But they haven't shown anything. And you're the one on the podium. Means you know more than them on that subject. You're the one who's presenting. You're the boss. You are sharing information. You're helping them to know. So if anything, you're in a better position than they are. And if that didn't help you, like you need a little bit more boost, just imagine every one of them sitting naked. Sitting naked on a toilet. You will laugh, this person laughing, and you will just simply relax to know that they're just human beings. They are no threat to you, and they just, however they look, is their own insecurities that they're trying to project and look like they're not scared, and they are worthy to be there, and they want to impress you. You have to remember, they are sitting on the chair, you're on the podium. They want to impress you. They're hoping that you notice them. It is not the other way around. They want to impress you, be recognized by you. They want to show to the others. When they ask a question, that question is partly from them because they don't know it, they want to know, and partly that they want to show the others that I'm smart enough, I can come up with a question. Knowing that, that puts them in a place where they are really looking non-threatening at all, and you feel in control totally when you want to answer the questions or present or conduct the meeting that you have set up to conduct. I hope that helps you out, Daniel, and I'm sure you'll do great. Focus on the material. That's all. That's your obligation. Do justice to the material. That's it. You're not there to impress them. You're there just to present knowledge. That's it. They're inconsequential, as Dr. Evil says. All right. Wookie says, hello, friend. Says, I hope you are well. Currently finishing on my medical law exam. Ah, good. Okay. So you can talk and chew gum at the same time? Is that what you're saying? So you're doing the exam or studying for it and also listening to this? That's not interfering. You know, I guess we have, in a certain way, become like Borg. The Star Trek Voyager series. And you know, you're aware of the Borg. And also Star Trek Next Generation, also Borg had his sequences in there. And that is like everybody wants to have all different kind of voices in their heads. We have been conditioned to want to have all kinds of noise around when we want to do something. Somehow we feel uncomfortable and insecure when there is no noise. Sometimes we want no noise, and often we are used to have noise around. Study with music. Study when somebody else is talking. Watching another screen on the internet, while the other screen is still talking, or the news is going, and you're reading something else, trying to learn something or researching for something, but there's a discussion or a lecture going on the other screen. These noises are all there, and I guess perhaps you're proof of that right now. David says, I have one person that I subscribe to that makes little videos and posts them, and that shows up as a little notification on my subscription page. All right. So I'm talking about this GIF thingy. Is it popping up as a GIF on your notice board, like what I did? It's gone to everybody with a title says how to have discipline and be motivated. All right. MA says, I feel I do not have the gut to the mood to study and work hard. This is a very important question, since the perseverance is important, but I lost it. I'm not excited anymore. Well, it's like saying, I've been having this food every day, and I was excited about it at first because it was a new food. Let's say certain kind of a sandwich or some kind of a dish, I don't know, whatever dish you like. And it was so good that I had it the next day, and then the next day, and I enjoyed it, and I looked forward for lunch, and I had it the next day. Now, it's been a few years, and I don't feel excited about it anymore. So my suggestion to you is that, okay, stop eating it. You're right, it's not exciting anymore. Stop eating it and see what happens. I guarantee you, in the case of food, you don't eat it for one day, you will see why you want to have it again, why you were having it all these years. Because you will feel hungry, and you will see the importance of it, what the importance of it and effect of it in your life was. And you never thought of it until you stopped eating it. Because it was always available, you thought, meh, there's not importance to it, it's available, I don't want to eat it, because you never felt hungry. It was there always to save you from hunger. But once you stop eating it and then feel the hunger, then you will know, okay, that what I really didn't think is the best, well, I want it, because really there's a need for it. Now, same thing with you. Why don't you stop studying? Why don't you stop working? Yeah? Just take a break from it all. For 1 week. Not more. See how it affects your comfort zone and your life. Is money still coming even though you didn't work for a week? Or is it going to be reduced for 1 week of pay? But the rent is still going to be the same, even though you decided not to work and they cut your pay for 1 week. But the rent wasn't cut because you still needed to be there. Whether you work or not, you still had to have a place to be safe and secure and sleep and all that. And then you will see that your job security is being threatened because you didn't work for a week, and they're now questioning you. Hey, what are you here or not? What's going on? We've got other people that we can give the job to. And pretty soon, and then your schooling or studying, it tells you, okay, you have not studied here, you're not attending, you're not coming to school, and therefore, why don't you just consider not coming to school at all. And then you'll say, holy shit, I can now imagine if I don't go to school, I'm not going to be able to pass tests or exams or whatever, or have credentials to get a better job. I'll be always doing what I'm doing. And even what I'm doing, they're taking that away from me because I decided I'm not motivated. So what the fuck is that motivation? What makes me motivated? Oh, my motivation should be the fact that I can work and eat and keep my apartment and study for better job later, hope for advancement, and that's how I can actually see new things that I never had in my life. Therefore, for that, I should focus on that to be my motivation. To advancing in life, to having better things and things that I do want, because definitely you're not telling me that you don't want to eat and you don't want to have a car, you don't want to have a place, you don't want to have the ability to travel, you don't want to have a chance to, have a girlfriend and pay for her and buy things for her. You're not telling me that you don't want those. You're just telling me you don't want to work and you don't want to study. But if you realize that your work and study is the gateway to all these other things that you are not telling me that you don't want, which means you actually do want those stuff, you just don't want this. When you connect them, you will see that this, what you say I don't want, is exactly the only gateway for you to get all those other things that you do want. When you translate what you don't want to do to what it does to stuff that you want to get, you want to have, and you want to do, then you realize why you can definitely use that to be motivated and want to study hard, want to work hard, because you don't like what you are, where you are, and what you're doing. The fact that you don't like, you're not motivated as much as you were before for your studies and your job is the reason for you to be better at your job and at your studies in order to be able to move away from this and change this. Because unless you're really good at whatever it is that you're searching for, your studies and your job, you won't be able to be considered as having accomplished that stage to be promoted, to be able to have a pathway to the new stage, which would be the kind of work and the kind of knowledge or study or echelon or position that you would like to have. Translate what you do to what it does to your life, and translate, if you are not motivated and don't want to do what you are doing, study and the job, what it will do to your future, to your life. Translate what you're doing brings to your life, does for your life, and translate, if you don't do what you're doing, what it does to your life, what it does not bring or bring to your life. Then you will see motivation is not about liking what you're doing. Motivation is about what you want to accomplish by what you're doing for whatever it is that later on you want to attain, you want to arrive to. On that note, I move on. David says, no, the subscription page on mobile shows all the feeds from all the channels I've subscribed to. Yours showed up like a video should have. Okay. I guess I gotta learn these things. Achilles says, I forgot this part. M51 Los Angeles. Yeah, okay, good, thank you. Thank you again for the info. I'll go and check it out. My pleasure. Luis Yosri says, so how can you help us to become more confident? Why do you feel you're not confident? What is it that you lack confidence? In what? In what? In Again, you haven't told me if you're man or woman and how old you are. So please provide that. That will then help me to address you properly and tailor make my response to you. Craig Oliver says, Mehran, Craig 38, male UK. Hello, Craig. Just as I was deleting the X out of my thoughts and moving on, well, she's contacted me via email and put thoughts back into my head, what I do need to do to forget them. What kind of thoughts? Be more specific, please. Give me the info. Throw me the bone, as Dr. Evil says. Well, I'm good, but not that good. I can't read your mind. What the heck did she say? What kind of thoughts? What do you mean? He asks, continue the way I have been. Craig, info. And Craig says, she has knocked my mind for 6 when I was doing well. For 6? Or for sex? Craig, we're going to make it a guessing game? Okay, I'll get back to you. Once you fix that info, then I'll address it. For sure. So, Frig Walker, Farid, I think you've been here before. I kind of recognize that name. I think. Says, hello, Mehran. Stefan, 27 from Germany. Oh, yes, Stefan. I think, yeah, you've been here before. Guten Tag. Guten Tag. And he says, hope you're doing great. Thank you. And he says, can you name the, in your opinion, top 3 character traits which to look out for in a decent woman? It's kind of oxymoron, like, you know, top 3 positive character traits in a decent woman. Okay. I know everyone has different taste. That's a good question. But as you said, everyone has different taste. But first of all, that she's decent. That's the character, meaning her lifestyle, what she surrounds her with, what she does, her interests are decent. Like, I don't know, she doesn't smoke cigarette, does drugs, or into heavy drinking, just bar hopping. This is, you know, her hygiene, her fitness, what she eats, how she eats. All these things tells you about her mentality, because before she does any of these, she has to think him. You think, and from thought comes action. Body follows the mind. So when you see someone's lifestyle, it tells you really about their consciousness. And you will see if that consciousness is compatible with you and your values, then they have something to go by as the first kind of a character trait. Which is by itself is pretty elaborate and important. Then of course you want to see how in tune she is with the relationship rather than into herself. Like, she's there for a relationship, or she's there to see what she gets from a relationship. Is she there to put in, or she's there to take out? There should be a balance is there, because nobody's there just to put in. Of course, they're there because they want to be happy. They want to get service. They want to get benefits. They want to feel good. But is it only that? The reason is only that? That is the only reason they're there for? Because then that's borderline psychotic, like psychopath or narcissist. Because they're tuned out with everything. All they can see is, oh, you didn't buy me flowers, or you didn't, do this, open the door, If they're too full of themselves, just shit all over that and just say bye-bye. Because that's not reality. That's good for the first while because you want to show your interest, your courtesy. But if that is really how they think that they're valuable, and if it's missing, then they don't feel good, and then that is all about their ego and so on, then they're too much into themselves, which will leave no space for you and no space for building anything, because all she wants to do is to build her own room and the hell with the rest of the house, let's say. Because me. If there's too much me in them, get rid of it. That's 2. Number 3, they gotta see if they genuinely care for things, passionate about something positive in life. Could be life itself, humanity, balance. Through all that passion, they bring balance to their life. There's a motivation. There's a natural motivation in them. They don't have to look for excuses to be happy. They don't have to look for excuses to do their duties and responsibilities. They don't have to look for excuses to be motivated. They are naturally motivated because life, being alive, experiencing this journey is their motivation to do their best in everything they do. They have that knack. They want to bring balance. They want to be balanced and bring light and be able to handle things, negotiate things, interact with things. They're not coming with an idea that this is an absolute universe. They're there recognizing this is a relative world. And they have to negotiate. They have to roll with the punches. They have to pedal and row their boat in the ups and downs of the waves of an ocean. They're aware of that. They're trained for that. They're focused on that. Therefore, the downs will not take their motivation away, and the ups will not make them feel that's the last day they have to be motivated. The motivation for them to bring balance is always there naturally. I think these 3 would sum up a good catch. I hope that's helpful to you, and happy hunting. And if you found some some angel like that, let me know too. That was a joke, of course. Now, so okay, let's go to Daniel says, look for affiliate marketing income where you put links underneath your videos with links to their products. That where the big bucks are. Well, let's first get viewership. I don't have that many viewership. First, let's be found before we put something. I'm talking to you about my store is not found. You're telling me put more peach in there? They don't find my store. Are you making fun of me, Daniel? All right. Hori Stefanescu says, good day, Mehran. Sundar here. I just wanted to bring back in topic your old Japanese story. With the hungry samurai. Okay. It made a lot of sense in regards to when someone leaves you for no apparent reason. I remember I mentioned that story, but I don't know what the question was. I guess I need help to to remember that. But now let's talk to Olga. Olga says, hi Mehran. I'm not feeling myself today. I'm just sad and stressed and don't know how to regain a normal mood. How to get back my energy. I feel empty. Yes, that happens to some of us, or many of us. And that's because you're not with the present moment. You're focusing on the things that you don't have. And there's abundance of that what we don't have. All of us, every one of us. There's so many things that we want we don't have. And if we base our happiness and satisfaction in life on the things that we don't have, we will be looking for a long time, because who knows when we will have the stuff that we don't have. And if they're really that important or not, let's focus on what really is most sensitive, most important to our ability to be here and actually have the opportunity to feel and think about the things that we don't have or what we have or whatnot. Why don't we first take care of that? If you base your satisfaction and your journey, everyday journey, your efforts, if you base your happiness on the basics of things in your life, basics of things are the things that you do have, you will see that it brings contentment, because you will find nothing that you don't have. There are lots of things that you don't have, but you also don't need them. But if you focus on the things that you actually need them and you don't have, that could be a little alarm and concerning. So let's focus on the things that it's essential for your life and see if you do have them or not. And let's base our happiness on that, because that is the center of everything. Because if you can't be alive, nothing else matters. None of the things that you don't have, none of the things that you don't have would ever matter if you're not here. So what matters is you being alive, surviving. Therefore, that means having the basics of life. So the most important thing in life, to be able to feel and gauge what you don't have and be dissatisfied, or whatever else it is that you want to accomplish or you don't have it yet, is if you are alive. If you are here. And for that, if you have the basics that makes you and gives you the opportunity to be alive, that would be the base of your happiness, your satisfaction, your motivation. Everything else is secondary or thirdary. New word. So, let's focus on that. Am I alive? It beats. I can breathe. Thank God I can see. Whatever God you believe in, or it's just expression. Thank you, universe. I have something to drink. Water, chamomile. So far we talked about essential. Heartbeat, breathing. I can see. Hydrate. Essential for my life. Food. I have something to eat. I have something to eat. I won't die. I won't die today because of lack of having something to eat. I have a place to sleep. I'm safe. I have a place. It's got doors. So I have a bunker. I'm safe. I'm safe. I have a bed to sleep. You can see everything that you need to be the person that you want to be and complain about the things that you don't have is first, has priority, and you have those. You have all of that. Imagine how would you feel, how you would have felt if you actually didn't have good air to breathe. You have to put mask on, you could smoke out there, fire, forest fire or something, and close the window, or they were doing dust out there, they're doing some kind of construction, it can be, for that. Not talking about wars and bombs and so on, just simple things like that. Imagine if you couldn't breathe good air. Imagine if you didn't have a little water to drink. Imagine if you didn't have a safe place to sleep and get a shut-eye and knowing that nobody's going to invade the privacy of your home. Imagine if you didn't have food, simple food to eat. If you didn't have these securities that would bring you psychological security to a level, if you didn't have these basics, imagine how shitty you would feel then. You would be devastated. You would be from one second to the next second that you would be despaired. You would feel you're going to die and nothing is going to save you. You're lacking water, food, shelter. You can't breathe good air. That's concern. That I could possibly lose my motivation, which that by itself is going to propel you to find motivation to survive, get you out of that shit. But let's put that philosophy aside. Comparing to what you're really thinking is devastating doesn't allow you to be yourself now. Because your mind is not with your body. Your mind is in the future and worried about things that hasn't happened, you want them to happen, the job perhaps that you want to have, the kind of a luxury you want to have, the kind of place you want to have, kind of relationship you want to have, all the things that really are inconsequential to your existence today and your survival, that the basics of things that you need for your survival today, now. So your body and mind has been separated. When a mind and body is separated, it would be hard to feel whole, let alone motivated. Because the first thing you got to do, bring your mind to your body, and both would be coordinated. Once you have coordination of mind and body, that means you are in the moment. You're living. You are where as things are happening. You're with the happening of life. In the happening of life, only focusing on the importance of that, which is only important, the only important things, all you need is the basics. And you will have them. You have them. Then you feel, I'm motivated because I have everything I need to go and conquer the world. If it hasn't happened yet, if I don't have those things that I want to conquer, it's because it hasn't come to be. It doesn't mean that I don't have the horse to run to get to it. Because the horse that takes me to where I want to materialize these things is the basics, and I have the basics. So as long as I have the basics, I can do anything. Give me reasonable health. Give me some water, some food, place to sleep, be safe. Able to research and learn. I can do anything. That's your motivation. That's the fact. Bring your mind and body together. Stay with the paying full attention to the moment, to life, as it's happening, as it's blooming, rather than allowing your mind and body separate. You conjure up things in the future and you start worrying about it and trying to solve what hasn't even happened yet now. Your attention would be on something that doesn't exist. Or thinking about the past, how things were, your attention is something that doesn't exist. So either in the past or roaming around the future, because nothing is enough, I want more. That separates your mind and body, and that makes you feel unfocused, unmotivated, dissatisfied, and lack fuel to propel yourself, catapult yourself to achieve and to be where you can achieve all those things that you want to achieve. But from here to there are steps you got to take. These steps needs energy. You have every energy, every bit of things that you need in order to create that stage for yourself. So you can see life is not that bad. You have all the ingredients to create what you want to create. Stop conjuring up and worrying about it. Focus on where you are, what is happening, what you want it to happen, plan for them, and take steps towards them. Make them happen. It is all you. You can't wait there for it to arrive to you. It is you who's supposed to get on your horse and arrive to it. And you can do it because you have all the basic ingredients that you need in order to feed that horse to get you where you want to go. On that note, let me take a break. I'll be right back. It's been pretty warm in here. Okay. All right. So, a little bit breeze here now. Craig says, playing games with my mind, saying she wants me back and made a mistake ending it. Craig says, it's been 5 months now and taken me all this time to forget about her now. She's saying she wants me back, but I don't think she does. I think she's found out I'm moving on and doing well. And that she's playing games to make me unwell again. Mehran, knocking for 6 is like in cricket. It's just a saying we say in the UK. She's knocked me for 6. Okay. That means there are 6 sticks at each end of the cricket opposite sides. And when you say she knocked me for 6, that means it was a blow that it took all the 6 sticks standing out. That's my knowledge about cricket is very limited. So, so I hope that's what it means. So that means it's a knockout blow in a way. And Craig says, I don't think I could put myself through it all again. If it didn't work out again, but now she's put thoughts back into my head. It's took me all this time to move on, and one message has got her in my head. Well, because you like sex with her, that's all. Otherwise, why else would you want to be with someone who has done whatever she's done to you and created that kind of a commotion, ended it for no reason, or why? Why would you want that person again? So you can see you don't want her because of her behavior and attitude and manners and the atmosphere she created, the energy that she exuded. You want her because you only think of a woman when you think of her as how fun it would be if you hold her in your arm, make love to her. That's the default thinking when you think about your ex. There is nothing more clear about an ex situation. When you think about X, everything is overshadowed by the ideas and the memories that you have being in bed with her, or having that kind of a order again. It's very powerful potion when you had a relationship with a woman and you didn't choose to break it up. The whole it's a biological thing that is very potent. You desire her, but you have to focus that you got to really desire the quality of her consciousness. Because if you only allow your desire to be born because of the sexuality and the physical attribute of her, the smile and the lovey-doveys and all good feelings, then you miss the point that the entity that you're having a relationship with is not what you see. Is not her beautiful body and the way she dresses and combs her hair, her eyes and all the other things. It's not that. That's how that shell looks. But what makes that shell ultimately function, act, react, make decisions, and create situations and dramas or not, is the program that is inside her that you cannot visually see that. It doesn't have a shape to say, oh, I don't like the shape of the consciousness, because you can't see it right out the open. You will get to see it, you get to learn it through that relationship period that often ends into failure. Not failure, it ends into, often ends, let's put it this way. And that's because when you guys get to see the actual program that makes that avatar, that physical entity that you're interested in function, you will see that is really not making this thing behave in such a way that would be complementary to what you want to build in life. And it goes the other way around too. Same thing for girls about boys. It's both ways. Whatever partner, whatever your situation is, whatever your relationship style, your lifestyle is, it goes both ways, from both partner side. That you don't see that person, you don't know that person. What you think you love or like, you don't know, because what you call you like or love or in relationship with is not represented by the avatar. It's not represented by the visible physical entity. So therefore, you are actually in love or in relationship with an image of someone that you have created of that person in your own mind. So the image you have created of her, about her, in your mind, is what you have created, not that what she really is. What she really is in her mind that is not visible. And it becomes visible when you guys go through a relationship for months or 6 months or a year or whatever it is. That's when you see it. But yet, when you break up and you think of her like you're doing now, you don't again look at what is not visible, which is who she is. You only again focusing on what you focused on at the outset when you just got to know her, before you guys became an item at all, got into a relationship. The physical being. And so with that comes with the emotions and the memories that you have with interaction with that physical being. So you only think about her beauty, her eyes, the way you kissed her, held her, first time you saw her, and the way she wears her clothes or how sexy she is. All that, whatever it is that turns you on, that's what is now going into her head with her words. You don't have a relationship with her. You have a relationship with her voice, with the words, with the meaning of the words that has a certain meaning in dictionary, that is uttered by her, the resonance of her voice, the sexuality that you feel because of the desire that you have for intimacy, not necessarily her, but these are your desires. So the effects on you is really nothing about her. It's about sound, resonation, words, the meaning of them, how it affects and caresses your ego or your affirmation, gives you affirmation, what you need, agreement, the feelings that you can satisfy yourself by getting those feelings to feel balance. The escape is also part of the relationship, that through that relationship, through her intimacy with her, you escape life, you escape challenges. All that is what comes to your mind when you think about the ex, not really what she is in her mind, her program, how she acted, reacted, interacted with you, what caused the problems, what things that were not right. None of that stuff, because they're hard to think about. They're not fun, and human being is programmed to only think about the stuff that makes him feel good, escapes from everything that makes him feel bad. So the stuff about her that made you not feel good, dissatisfied, is not what comes to your mind by default when you think about the ex. Only good stuff. And the good stuff makes you confused, wonder. Ooh, so maybe it was all good. Why would I think that way? Oh, remember? Oh, I don't care. Just being with her, holding her, towards everything. I'll put up with all that shit. Even if you remember it, because you're not feeling the pain, you simply say, I put up with all that shit. Because you're not feeling, you're just remembering it. And the remembering it, you recognize that the good stuff that you remember about her overrides the bad stuff, and you, for the pleasure, the good stuff, you're willing to put up with any kind of shit as you did before. And skips your mind to actually know this is the same thing that you didn't want to be with, and you tried desperate to get away from, and you made the right choice. And now you're falling into the same trap again by your own mind about her. So think it through and make a decision. And we have a super chat. My goodness. So we are a channel that can get a super chat. And Miriam says, thank you for taking the time to answer my message on your videos the other day. Your advice helped me see the manipulation my ex was doing to me. I feel better and confident about moving on. Thank you. My pleasure, Miriam. I'm delighted to hear that. And of course, thank you for the support for the channel. That's wonderful. But these are anomalies. I don't get these things too often. So it's interesting. It's colorful. It's got the color I like, yellow. Olga says, I think you have a wonderful point, Mehran. But I wonder, isn't it the most scary thing when you know you have all the ingredients and appreciate it, but feel unhappy and confused very often? Yes, bring your expectation down. Celebrate the pomegranate you have in front of you, rather than thinking, oh, this pomegranate is ingredient, but I can make a fesenjoon. Fesenjoon is a Persian food which is very delicious, and it has to do with the pomegranate being one of the ingredients in the sauce. So instead of focusing on the fesenjoon, just enjoy the pomegranate, not a pie in the sky and the future possibilities of this pomegranate. Let's cut this open, put it in a dish, enjoy it, get the sustenance from it, and bring your happiness to the level of what is in front of you and what is available, rather than a promise of what is not available through what it is available. And wonder, why is it that from what is available, I cannot really materialize what I wanted to be available, which is not a reality at the moment? which means you're changing and transferring. You are swapping the availability of an emotion that you can create with the unavailability of something that you desire, and you think that would be what brings you happiness. What if actually one day you would really want pomegranate and it's not available? Would that pomegranate now become the most important thing that you really want because it's not available? Well, it's available now. Why don't you enjoy this, be happy with this, and then tomorrow you find another reason to be happy. I'm trying to ask you, you can really negotiate a journey step by step. But if every step you take, you focus on the fact, shit, I'm not there yet, you will lose motivation to take the next step. Because the only thing you're focusing is how many steps left. Not on what I experienced in this step and how many steps I've taken, and I only have to take one more step or two more steps to that tree. And maybe sit there and under its, I don't know, shade, have my pomegranate. Break life down to pieces rather than thinking you're the piece and the life is humongous. Life, me. No, I want you to say me, life. A fragment of life. Life is big, like a big mountain, but you can't just jump on top of the mountain. You negotiate the mountain step by step, negotiate the pieces. So look at the mountain as 2 steps. So you say, me, bigger than these 2 steps. But if you only look at yourself and the mountain as the mountain is, you say, me, mountain? Holy shit. I'm going to negotiate that. You already are defeating your own motivation. But you look at this beautiful mountain. Look at the feeling that I would get when I'm on top of that. So me, I'm also going to be big because I'm now negotiating with something big. So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to go from here to that point, which is about 20 meters. I got to climb it and I got to plan for it. And I focus that this is the whole entirety of the mission I have right now. This segment of the mountain should be negotiated. And you do that. That's all you see. So then suddenly you see things as possible because it's reasonable. You sectionize, you cut this big job to small pieces. Happiness in life is a continuous thing. It's not something that you arrive to it and I got it, I'm happy now for the rest of my life. It's never like that. And because it is something that is continuous, it's huge like the mountain. So you cut it down. You be happy for this reason today, and don't say, oh, but you know, okay, well, that's no big deal, but what about tomorrow? Well, tomorrow you find something else to be happy for. Today you take this distance of the mountain, and when you get there, you create another chop of it, and another plan for another short travel segment of the mountain. Today you find a reason to be happy for whatever it is that makes you happy. Tomorrow you'll find another one, because happiness is a big thing. You can't find it and see that's how it's going to be for the rest of my life. I got it and I'll be happy the rest of my life. No, every day is going to be different. You need different things every day to be happy for that day. And that different things is in that day. It's not that you got to now find it and then go to the next day. No, you will find that in that next day. Every day has its happiness in there. You gotta look for it. It's like the game we, you know, when I was a kid, what is this? You know, I don't know, forgot the name of it. That they raise money, they sell cookies for it. You know, you have a little uniform and you, what is it called? Scout. So. You got to look for it. It's like a scout. You got to scout for the happiness every day. You got to look for it. It's there. It's in that day that you're living. And you only need to find it for that day. The next day you have another mission to find the happiness for the day. So every day you have something to do, which is most important. And when you find it, you'll be satisfied and you will be content and you will say, okay, I found the happiness for the day 2. So your job will not be jumping on top of that whole mountain at one shot, which becomes overwhelming and say, holy shit, I'm just going to give up or forget it. So your job is not to find the happiness that is the elixir of life and you say, okay, now I found it, now I can go through life. No. Your job is to find that little happiness for that portion of the mountain, for that day. And that's attainable. It's amusing, it's fun, and it's attainable, and it's satisfying, and it's limited. It's not a big job. It doesn't interfere with what you really want to accomplish. In fact, it accompanies and complements what you want to accomplish on that day. I found the happiness in what I'm doing is the elixir of life. And I found the happiness to motivate me to what I want to do today is another elixir of life. If I can get my words right. That's also another elixir of life. So, on that note, focus on what I said. And thank you for your question. I think I'm going to share that with everybody as a separate video because I think it will clear lots of things for lots of people and make attaining happiness much easier than it actually is. And you don't have to search for something big. You only have to search for something small, which effect of it for you would be so amazing and big enough to catapult you and encourage you, motivate you to actually accomplish all that big stuff that you want to accomplish bit by bit, like how you conquer that mountain. I hope that would be helpful to you, Olga. And feel good. We're all in the same boat, dear. We're all in it together. In one way or another, we're all feeling the same way. In one way or different. So the key is to find that little bits of happiness. Drop by drop, an ocean is born. So, just as the rain comes, drop by drop, eventually fills an ocean. Same thing. Find the drop by drop of the happiness every day, then you will see you have the ocean of happiness and your life has been happy and you didn't have to wait for happiness to arrive or you to arrive to happiness. You've been benefiting from the drops of happiness every day, and before you know it, you are in the ocean of happiness, which would be the atmosphere of your life and your mentality in negotiating in this journey of your life. All right, let's go to Mark. Hannah says, male UK 30, great chat. Can you speak a little about what the dumper feels? What are you, dumper or dumpy? Are you the one who initiated the breakup, or you're the receiver end? Nasro says, God bless you, my dear Mehran, and God bless you as well, Nasro dear. Thank you for the kind words. Lottie says, female 40 UK, what if I have the feeling that I wish I could help someone who is feeling sad or ill, but I only succeed a bit? Where do I find the new ideas to help the people in my family? It depends on your abilities. You may be able to find many ideas to help your family, but it depends on really what it is and how much it costs and how much time and energy it has and what kind of resources you have to be able to allocate that kind of time for that purposes and achieving those goals. It's very, open-ended or close-ended question for me. It's limited. I don't have enough information to answer that, Lottie. But about the part that you said, what if I have the feeling that I wish I could help someone who is feeling sad or ill, but I only succeeded a bit. Now, What if you're in a boat in an ocean and the boat has taken water in, and you have a bucket, a small bucket? Is it feasible? Is it right for you to question, but this bucket only does so much, and waste time looking for a bigger bucket, or keep busy doing what you can, and at the end of the day say, okay, I did this, and I'm glad I did this, because if I hadn't done it, we would have sunk. And even though it's not as good as I wanted it, it's only a bit, it's not as much as I was hoping for, but I'm glad I did it because that's all I could do. And I did not falter on that. If you falter on what little that you can is available to you, time-wise, resource-wise, motivation-wise, commitment-wise, if you falter on that, that's the problem. Not the fact that you do, but what you do is only a little bit. That is what you have to give, and that's good enough. Otherwise, with responsibility, or such a sense of responsibility, there must be an authority. There must be availability of resources. If it's not there, sorry, that's all I can do. I can only do shovel, empty water out of the boat, 150 buckets a minute. That's all. So sorry that I can't do 500. I just can't. If I had the apparatus to do 500 and I didn't, then that's a problem. But I didn't, so I did my best with what I had. That little bit should not be looked upon as little bit and compared to what could have been done with something that is not available to me. It should be compared with if I don't do it at all, while I could do this little bit. So that little bit should actually represent the entirety of what I could have done, which should bring total satisfaction. All right. Olga says, I agree with you completely, and this topic is very interesting. Thank you so much. Your answers are so good. I don't even want to ask another 100 questions, Lol. Okay, Olga. Well, listen, whenever you had time and stuff that you want to do for the channel, and then you have more time, I'm more than happy to spend a one-on-one time with you for a few hours on different occasions maybe, and help you out to answer questions if that is what you need. In fact, you can do that anytime. It doesn't, it's not connected to when you do the stuff that you want to do for channel. I meant that as if you don't have time right now. Didn't mean it to be conditional, but I meant if you're busy with your other projects that you mentioned to me and the stuff that you want to do and accomplish, then we can wait until you have time, and then that would be available to you for all the kind things that you're doing for me. I appreciate that very much. So you're welcome to that. Just let me know when. Sid says, male 31 Estonia. Sid says, good to see you again. I have a small question. No question is small. Don't fool me like that. Small question, but the answers are big. Okay, of course. Sid says, I feel I'm getting a bit bitter and cranky post-breakup. How can be a bit less bitter and regain my calmness? To understand that what you're bitter about is not the only berry under trees. Look at it. If it was good, you would still be eating the berry, but you tried the berry for a while and you got diarrhea, and notice that the berry is actually not really gonna be as nutritious as you thought, and for some reason you stopped, or the berry tree was taken away, or you stopped the berry eating, or whatever. So you got to focus on that what you're really using to be cranky, it's not worth it, because it wasn't gonna give you all the good stuff that you expect from a good bushel of berries. I mean, Baloo would not pick berries from that bushel. That's from the movie Mowgli. I had a friend, Baloo, the bear. So I hope you're familiar with that story. And Sid says, not bitter about girls, I'm becoming a bit irritable. That's not like me. How do you get past that? Yeah, because you have induced in yourself something that is not even remotely related to your life, and have made that a conditional thing for your happiness, and you've forgotten all the reasons that actually will bring you success and happiness and tranquility and all the things that you wanted in life, and you're discounting all the opportunities and possibilities that the future holds, and you're focused on the fact that if it hasn't happened yet, then it won't happen again. It will never happen. That's bullshit. That's just like saying you don't exist, because the mere fact that you exist changes things. The mere fact that you're an observer changes the happening of things. But you're acting like if you don't exist, you're not an observer, therefore you have no effect on the universe and the chain of events, which is false. So hope is not something that you hope to have hope, it's something that is given, is there. Why? Because you're there. And the fact that you're here, it changes everything. And you are the center of that change. So things that you don't see have happened yet, definitely will. Because you're here. If you weren't here, yes, that would be correct. But because you're here, things will happen for you, about you, with you, through you. And through it all, you will see the things that you hope that it would happen, but it hasn't happened yet, and you would not think of it because it hasn't happened. It will never happen, because that is not within your power, and that is not how the river flows. Life is full of happenings. That's what life, there is a life, because series of happenings makes life. If there was no series of happening, there would be no life. None of us would be here. Because we are here, therefore, the series of happening, it continues. And because the series of happening continues, you will see and get the things that you are hoping to get, but you haven't gotten them yet. Focus on that and stop being cranky. Focus. Keep your eyes on the prize. Olga says, oh, these guys with the job are ignoring me. But it's okay. I'm not down because of them. Not even because of the dentist awaiting me low. I dodged my dentist on Tuesday because I think I can wait. I want to try some of the things first, and then I was just there, you know. I guess because I was just there last week for cleanup and checkup, so I don't want to go there for no reason anymore. It's a follow-up. Thank you. Not for now. Guys, the fact that you are here is the reason why things will happen for you. Just be patient, but keep taking steps and strides. Continue on what it is that you want to accomplish, conquer, travel. Whether it's a mountain, straight road, paved or dusty, you're planting crops, field or trees, keep doing it, because eventually one day you'll be on top of that summit. But if you don't take the steps, you will never be. So never stop that continuation of efforts. If on that path that you want to get to a destination, whether it's paved or dusty, don't stop. Keep taking the steps. Have enough provisions and plans. Foresee what you will be having to take care of on this negotiation, and continue, never stop your strides, and continue planting those crops, seeding, or those trees and that you are planting, because eventually one day it will be an orchard or a forest, whatever you have designed it to be. But the effort must continue. Not that because I don't see the forest or the orchard yet, I'm not on top of the mountain yet, I'm not at my destination yet, therefore I will never be, because I'm not there yet, therefore I will never be, so I'll stop taking steps and making efforts. That's the wrong way of getting to your destination and accomplishing your tasks. No, Olga, I was there last week, and you know, they did the cleanup on the teeth, and everything's okay now. You know, there are a couple of little places that perhaps I need to maybe have it a little, I don't know, do something to it. It's not critical. So I want to do some other stuff first, and then I'll go next month. Unnecessary things I put off. Excalibur says, Mehran, you skipped a sea of questions, lol. Yes, I know. I just thought I'd give it a little bit of a breather, because I was down there with Marty, and then I saw Olga, then, so, you know, we'll get to them, because, you know, most of you come pretty much within 5 minutes. And the ones who just went, questions fill up, and then suddenly, if there was a system that we had, like if we had, like, I don't know how the other channels did, we had super chats, and I could go by the super chat, pick up the super chat question first, and that would give a rhythm to it. But because I don't have it, if I go from top to bottom, then the ones who came only 5 minutes late, they will not get their answer for two hours. So I kind of try to jump up and down. And I'll just, I guess, just like Marian did, if there is a super chat, I'll go to that, because I think I'm learning. That's the tradition of YouTube. If the channel wants support, then I have to observe these kind of rules, I guess. Now, let's go back, see where I have left everybody hanging. All right, now it's a bit warm. I mean, cold. All right. Oh yeah, I did leave a sea of questions here. Holy macaroni. That question that Farik Walker from Germany asked, Stefan, is actually a very good question. I will put that up as a standalone video as well. The top 3 character traits to look for a decent woman. That's good. Which I guess you can switch it around to anything. Decent partner, decent man, decent woman, I guess. I don't know what I said, but I think it could work for all relationships. Achilles 25 says, Mehran, do you believe in curses? Curses like cursing someone, like you SOB or something? Or you mean the voodoo curses? Or someone, your ex, can put a hex on you to make you always think of it? No, that's a fucking bullshit, and I say that with passion. That special 4-letter word. In this way, it actually was 5, 6, 7 words because of an ing at the end. So no, don't fall for that shit. Don't ever, ever, ever. Did I say ever? Ever. Adam says, hello Mehran, long time no see, been busy working. I'm going to the gym trying to keep myself motivated. My life is in order, but I want to share it with a nice woman, but I'm having no luck on dating sites, and there are no quality women of class in my town. Nobody flirts anymore. They seem to be all in a zombie state, looking at their phones, no eye contacts. It's getting really frustrating. Yeah, it's true. It's good observation. It's true. Even when they're walking around, it's a way that they're all tuned into their own world and escaping and hiding from social challenges. You know, they find it challenging just to walk and sit somewhere, have tea or coffee or eat something and look around. They're eating and looking at this thing as if this thing is actually got a physical credentials or potential to have physical satisfaction or some kind of a complete experience of interaction. And Adam says it's like men have been devaluated because of society, Me Too movement. I actually think, let me just take a moment to check something out if I am sure what I'm referring to. Well, you know, Me Too movement should have always been observed without it having to come up with a movement. It should be part of human experience and in a civilized world. No one should harass anyone sexually. No one in no culture, anywhere. That's why there are places in the world that there's a death penalty if you harass someone sexually. You know, like there's severe punishments. And suddenly it becomes a movement. Well, it should have been, it's been a movement. It should be a movement for everybody anywhere in the world. Nobody should be able to sexually harass anybody anywhere at any gender. Sexual harassment, sexual assault, these are like living in an uncivilized world. So what are we doing here after 40,000 years? Still the same garbage, same shit that have these sort of things in mind? So there should be no need for Me Too movement, because the Me Too movement, as they say now, the topic of it, the focus of it, should have been already intertwined of the rules of engagement, rules of interaction in every society. Nobody should dare to assault anybody sexually or harass anybody sexually, no matter what gender you are. So I wonder if that's supposed to be considered something new just because suddenly it has captured news as if we should follow what the news is. Follow your hearts, follow the decency, follow what is supposed to be the cornerstones of every solid, safe, and positive society. So, but suddenly there is an emphasis on that. But I don't think that's really. It just means that's perhaps just helps to get rid of the predators and assholes and things like that. But otherwise, people who don't intend anything to disturb anyone's privacy should be welcome to interact with each other. What's wrong with interacting when this? But you know, it's becoming a little bit. It's becoming as if it needs a special algorithm to. If you approach someone with decency, with respect, or with when it's appropriate, and I don't think, and if there is no reciprocation in the slightest, I mean, in enough clear reciprocation or welcoming gesture, then that's the end of that interaction. Otherwise, how could anybody get to know anybody? So it has its own formula or understanding or properness. Otherwise, I don't think that would include just basically people ignoring each other. That would mean they're now observing the Me Too. No, that's not what it's supposed to mean. It's supposed to mean to get the harassment and bringing discomfort to someone's space out of the way. Not that ignoring each other. That's for two decent people who happen to properly be introduced or be in an environment that is appropriate to smile or say hello. That's being a human. Otherwise, we're losing all that what we tried and worked so hard to bring as a signs of civility. It should be okay to be able to say, to be civilized and greet each other, and then from then on, you know if that is appropriate to further discussion or not. But the mere fact of ignoring each other, I don't think that is the purpose of human beings focus on ways of interacting, or should be avoided at all costs. Why? Who's bad? How do you know? Where's the bad intention? So, if it's appropriate in an appropriate setting and it's respectful, kind, friendly, that is a protocol. It's like when two diplomats get together, there's a certain protocol. Either shake hands or bow, or, So if they don't even do that, if one of them does, then the other one, doesn't care. Well, then they know that connection is severed. But if they don't do it at all, they don't know what the other person will, reciprocate or not. That would be the opening and closing of that interaction. But if there would be no opening, there can't be any further discussion on that topic that those diplomats wanted to discuss. So we shouldn't go overboard of turning something that is meant for a certain reason to protect people, to turn it into something that stops actually a proper connection and interaction or discussion or something like that. So, having said all that, well, you know what? You keep on doing what you got to do, focus on your life, and perhaps I guess the dating sites would be very successful, because then everybody knows that they're there to communicate, so there would be no objection to a proper communication on a dating site. But I think to some level, people should be able to greet each other as they pass by, smile like it used to be in the old times, but still keep respect and decency intact. Now, Excalibur says, Hola Mehran, I hope you are doing well and your tea is still warm. Oh, not at all. I forgot actually. I fell asleep during last night's stream. Yeah, I have that effect on people when they're watching or listening to my videos. Most often I hear that they fell asleep. So it does the same thing to myself. So, you know, it's a good sleeping pill. There are 20 of us here, guys. Take a moment, click on like before you forget. We need all the likes we can get to help us with the algorithm and see that we exist. And then he continues, says, it was raining like crazy and I went for a big car ride around the city. In the rain? How would you go on a car ride in the rain? Excalibur says, listening to it. I see. Listening to it, it was such a serene experience. Yes, with the rain, nature, and Mehran's insight and comedy. Okay, good, good. As long as you don't fall asleep behind the wheel, then it's a disaster. It'll be too calming then. Adam says it's becoming very clear that the majority of women today seem to be more attracted to thugs, men with problems. I guess they can tell just by looking at me that I have my shit together and I'm no challenge for them. It's crazy. No, 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 no. It just means that they don't measure up. If they don't come near you, that means they're not qualified. Because a woman who actually is expecting high standards does not look into being interested into the thugs. The ones that you see, they're pretty and they're with thugs, as you say, they're the ones who actually don't have much value for themselves because they haven't accomplished much. They just look good. And their look has nothing to do with who they are. They were born like that. They were born good looking. That doesn't mean that they have a character that is good looking, that they have insights or wisdom or way of negotiating life in a preferred way or filled with wisdom. They're just good looking, you know. Many people are good looking, men or women. They're good looking, but they're still an ass. They're just like a donkey. They look the way they look because they were born that way, but no matter how good looking a donkey or a horse is or a dog is, it has nothing to do with its intelligence, performance, abilities, wisdom, the way it negotiates. None. It's just that the look. So you have to understand, if the girls that you see there with thugs and they don't choose you, is because they know they don't measure up, because they're also aware of their shortcomings. Their good looks does not actually makes them feel that they're smart, because they know from inside, they know themselves. They know it's nothing here to offer. Therefore, they have a propensity, they gravitate toward the kind of people that they know they would not expect much up here. They would expect just the physical interaction. And that's what they've got, because that's not something that they had to create. It was created for them. So the fact that they don't come around you doesn't mean that all decent girls are attracted to thugs. No, a certain kind are. But many wonderful girls are actually not attracted to thugs. They're looking for decent young men, older men, gentlemen. They're looking for class. They're looking for proper behavior. They're looking for quality, wisdom, togetherness, a whole package. So don't fool yourself. Don't be fooled thinking that because somebody's pretty and she's with this guy that you happen to know he's a thug, it doesn't mean that that girl is of anything to write home about, is of quality. It says, you know, there's expression in Farsi, which I don't know if I can translate. It says, hawk and hawk, pigeon and pigeon, they fly together. Meaning you just find your own kind. So whatever their look is, if they're together, that means they kind of suit each other, fit each other. If one is thug, the other one is thug as well, but it just looks different. She looks pretty, but it's a thug inside, doesn't have anything. And the other one is a guy, and he's a thug. So they fit each other, they find each other based on their consciousness, not based on the fact that they're together. That means one of them is a catch and the other one is a thug, but the catch has gone to the thug. No, it means they're both the same. So if one of them is a thug and you're sure of that, that means the other one is as well, no matter how pretty she looks. So you continue your search in the right places or focus on your life, and the proper woman will find you, because I assure you, proper women are not looking for thugs. They're looking for real men. They're looking for gentlemen. So, on that note, I hope everybody did hit the like before it became 19. We lost one. Titanic is sinking. Kazi Tuta says, sir, I wish marry you. Kazi? You're a man, aren't you? I'm sorry, I don't have that lifestyle. So you may find it among other friends of yours. Perfect said, they're just a human like all of us. All right. Adam says, look at their shoes. Yes, that's right. Look at their shoes. Adam says it's true that women pay a lot of emphasis and judgment by what shoes a man wears. True story. I've heard that before as well. But I never knew that until I was very, in my adulthood. But I always had clean shoes. So it's just, I think it's because that was the default. That I remember, first of all, I don't know how, but I think it was just a regular, how one sees the world. I always made sure, from childhood, my clothing were clean. It was, I guess, where I was raised, in the environment I was raised, that it was important to wear clean clothing, to be tidy, look proper. I don't know, maybe from the childhood, the way my mother dressed me, we were aware of the importance of properly being dressed and the shoes being cleaned and however it was smooth. And I remember one of the things I used to do and proud to do it when I was a child. Was to shine my father's shoes. I found that very honorable. And I always did a good job because that was my father. With lots of love. And it was fun. I was good at it because I was also very good at shining my riding boots. I would get up 4 o'clock in the morning and shine them, and I was on the horse at 6 o'clock in the morning, I guess, 6:30, 7, by the time I would get to the club and all that. But the idea of shining my father's shoes, always perhaps beyond the love and respect and something little that I could do for the father that was providing everything for the family, other than the respect, it was also teaching me how important it is to have clean clothing, clean shoes, be a gentleman, like properly dressed, as my father would always be dressed properly, chic, and doing her things. So I think the whole combination of these, and plus the way I was, I learned how to, be properly dressed and observe, the proper social behavior and all that, hygiene and all that. So I guess all that encompassed why I was by default, my shoes were clean when I would, in my adult age. And that was the whole story. It took a long time. Sorry about that, guys. But you know what? My father passed away 6 years ago. And he was very close to me. I really admired, respect, and loved my dad. I learned a lot from him, and he was very educated. He had a PhD in law, and he spoke 6 languages, and he was a very important man as far as research and knowledge was concerned. Our discussions, I learned a lot from him. And personal, memories with him. At one point, when there was a revolution where I was born and raised and had returned after my university, at one point my father had bodyguards from Air Force, and I was one of the bodyguards of my father when he wanted to give speech when things were changing. So it was very close experiences of the events of the time, and of course the fact that he was very educated, and I learned a lot from him. He was an excellent father. I love and respect him very much, and I hope that everybody would have a good role model, whether it's their father or somebody else, because it's very important to have the right role model in life, and my father definitely was one of my important role models. Very important. So sorry about the emotional things, but hey, we're all kids. we remember how life story is, and I hope you take that as a positive note. Now let's move on to okay, Gerald says, I'm 51 from San Francisco. I'm almost over my ex of 53. Oh, so you were the jailbait. I think I had that expression long time ago. I guess I was in university, and I'm not sure. I think it's This lady was older than me. I think she was in her, I don't know, 40s, and I was in my 20s, and I was much younger than her. So in this scenario, you were the jailbait, I guess. It says, we broke up 2 months ago. She broke my heart. I was in so much pain, but I still miss her. But my new girlfriend's 52 has helped me heal, and listening to you 24/7. Gerald, I think you need to let go the ex in every way and focus on the new girlfriend, 52. And because I don't care what the ex was, what she did for you. The one that really matters is the one that is with you right now. And that's this girl. That's the girl that is actually, and don't ruin it and don't mess it up by turning her into your mom or into your counsel. She's helping you to heal. I hope you're not discussing your ex with her. And by saying that she helps you to heal, you mean the fact that you're in a relationship with her, that helps you to heal and forget about the ex. Not that you sit down and talk with her about how the ex was and she says, there, you'll be fine. All that. I hope not. So, and I hope that, I'm glad that the videos are helpful to you, and so I'm thankful that you're listening to us. Adam says, Mehran, you're still using dial-up internet. Lol. Why? Are you having a lag? What's going on? No, it's Wi-Fi. No dial-up. But I keep forgetting. Next week, hopefully next week, I'll call these new people to come and install a better system, better bandwidth. Right now it's green, it's not bad, but I don't think I get that all the time. All right. Anak says, oh, okay, he's talking to Adam. Excalibur says, actually the new haircut is not bad at all. Haha. Oh, yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah, this is my haircut. This is how I prefer my hair to be, rather than that long French partisan look. or intellectual, French intellectual look. You went from retired rock star to real estate senior age. No, I went to from a retired rock star, as you said, to a military man. That's where I identify with, I guess. A samurai. Okay, now. Mark Hanna says, male UK 30, great chat. Can you speak a bit about the dumper fields? Oh, you see, I am still waiting for you to tell me what you mean exactly by that and what the situation has been. Excalibur says, me, mountain. Holy shit, I'm not gonna defeat that. There we go, Mehran. My first laughter of the night. Okay, good, at least. All right, so let's see if we've caught up. Craig Oliver says, Mehran, can we have more videos when you sit and think of a topic and discussion and you're just sitting telling us and trying to get your point over in an easy way for us to follow. I love those videos. Yes, yes, of course. And I love those videos as well. I have lots of videos that I want to make. I think I've been trying to postpone it until I have proper equipment to make it easy for myself, so I can sit down and click the auto camera to start rather than clicking it, go sit down and then trimming it, or stuff like that. And also I would like to have a proper background and proper setting, and until I do that, and I'm procrastinating that, so I gotta get on with it. Yeah, I hear you. And I have lots of things to tell and lots of things that I have already written as an idea that I want to talk to you guys about. So I will get to them. And I sometimes feel if I make it a long lecture, nobody will watch it. If I make it too short, it won't carry the point. So I gotta find a happy medium in there to not bore you guys. Like the series that I have on thoughts. What is thinking? What is thought and consciousness? They're like 4 parts, and each are like 8 or 9 minutes. So maybe I should do it in some sections like that, or just simply make it one short video for each topic. Excalibur says, oh, Majid says, just got back from date, Mehran. Oh, good for you. Wonderful. Wunderbar. Excalibur says, question time. I notice when I wake up sometimes that I feel like I was in a different universe before being conscious. Is there any meaning to that beside deep sleep? I don't know. I don't know, because I have no evidence of it, but I see what you're saying. There are sometimes that it's so vivid and you feel like there was an experience. I don't have enough to say about that, at least not now. Maybe some other time we explore that further. Thank you, Majid. Yes, it can get emotional when you think about loved one, someone that you were very close to. I'm no different than other people, so and thank you for your kind words. Thank you. Thank you, merci. Thank you, Majid-chan. Thank you. Adam says, that was a nice story about you cleaning your dad's shoes. Yeah. My dad always dressed well, clean shoes. I take after my father. I naturally dress well, but the girls in my town just don't acknowledge me. Yeah, sometimes it could be overwhelming when the girls themselves are not sophisticated, or they simply are not into that particular day, or to them it's not that critical at the moment, so they may not notice you. But sometimes they also notice you, but they pretend they don't notice you because you are well dressed, and they may not be at the time, and they don't feel confident enough, because really having dressed up is not really that important, but having dressed clean and proper is important. I think. So it's not about how formal you're dressed or what kind of image you're putting out. If it's out of place, too dressed up for the place, those are, of course, should be observed. You can't be, dressed up in tuxedo and go to a store shopping unless you're on your way to a wedding or something. So what I'm trying to say is appropriate dress code means, appropriate to that environment, not necessarily always dress like a, I don't know, in a stiff way. It's just dress properly, cleanly. It doesn't mean dress with brand name products. No, it just means proper, clean. Could be a t-shirt and a pants, shoes, but it's not like shit coming all over it. It's just nice, clean, normal. So sometimes, when you dress a little bit forward, the girls are not in that formal mode that day, and they kind of feel, and they're very conscious about themselves and how they look, and they may not actually want to entertain a greeting with someone who actually is all spiffied up or something a little bit. It's just they don't feel comfortable. Unless you are also in jeans or in t-shirt, they may actually pay attention to you because it doesn't seem so formal. When you approach a girl in an environment which is not formal, but you have formal clothing on, it puts a little bit pressure on that greeting because she would think this is really a formal approach or kind of maybe a story behind it or expectation rather than just a human being trying to greet someone in a most friendly way of, no necessarily intention attached to it. But it would project itself as if it is because you're too overly dressed. So, but if you were maybe in a just, nice, clean, t-shirt and a pants and regular shoes, then you would not look, your greeting would not look serious or an expectation attached to it. So the girls would feel welcomed in that conversation, so to speak. That's pretty much as best as I can put it. So you might want to dress down a little bit, just more to the environment that you're walking about, so you won't stick out. That's what I'm trying to say. Olga says, thank you for the talk, Mehran. Time to go for me. Just thanks. You're quite welcome, Olga. Excalibur says, wow, I've never heard Mehran emotional before. Out of respect, I muted the sound for 20 seconds. I always feel like I don't know how to react when someone is emotional. Is there a correct way? No, just if someone is being emotional, just be there. Just let them have the moment because they're not sad necessarily. They're just emotional. Emotions is like you're thinking. You don't think that you got to do something when somebody's thinking or somebody's looking at something or somebody's focusing on something. You see what they're doing and you recognize that and you let them do the focus, do the pondering, do whatever it is. You don't think that you got to do something. Same thing when there's an emotion overwhelming someone or overwhelms you, you're enjoying that emotion. The fact that you will think that, oh, others expect you to cut that emotion and that puts pressure on that person. So whatever you do, create an atmosphere where that person will feel comfortable to continue that experience of emotion. And just let him or her be, because that's in a special moment. That doesn't come about that often. You don't think about your dad or your mom or whoever you have, might have lost all through the day and be emotional. Once in a while when you talk about a certain thing, it brings certain kind of a pleasant memories, then you may get emotion, and that emotion to be enjoyed, loved, experienced. And what you can do is just be there. Don't say anything. None. Just be there with good thoughts. That's it. That's the extent of it. Thank you very much, though. Thank you very much for kind words and attention. Adam says, as men, we must return to the Father, meaning we must forgive our parents for any wrongdoing in bringing us up. A lot of men are now too emotional because they have been brought up by their mother. Men should be more logical, not emotional. Which is why many men struggle with breakups. I don't believe that, yeah, I see what you're saying. And men or women, they all are made out of emotions, thinkings, emotions. That's what makes us human beings. If we don't have emotions, we become assholes. Like many of the assholes in the world that today are the leaders of countries, and they're devastating each other, their own people and the people of other nations, with all kind of nonsense because they've got no emotions. They justify everything and they've got no feeling. They've lost that feeling of humanity, that we're all connected. Yet they think it's the vote and opinion of their own people that makes them, justifies their duties and gives them the mandate, as even to the point of going and causing havoc and killing other people in other countries, or bringing havoc on their own people. There are lots of them around this world. So emotion is part of being a human. If the ones, be afraid of the ones who don't have emotion. Be afraid of the ones who never cry, because they've lost the humanity. If they've lost the humanity, they've got nothing else to offer you. And that is exactly what we all need, more humanity. Perhaps more emotion. To a limit, of course. You don't want to be a crybaby all the time. In moderation. In moderation. Everything in moderation. Excalibur says, I'm glad you know exactly what I mean by feeling like you were in another universe before waking up, Mehran. Maybe you had a similar experience of very deep sleep. Excalibur says, also once I experienced sleep paralysis, and my goodness, it scared the shit out of me. I saw a dark shadow entity wearing a black hoodie staring at me with a non-existent face, and I couldn't move. Yeah, I hear you. I understand. I have heard that. I haven't experienced that myself, but I know of such. Jay Lee says, Excalibur, yes, I have had that experience too. Oh, I see. Okay. Majid says, can you give advice about managing expectations after a first date, or whether it was a date just a friends, or the girl is interested as the girl is cool and as a few guy friends already? A little bit confusing question, Majid Jan. I'm not clear what you really asked. Actually, I have a video that I made a long time ago about what to expect after a date, after the first date, something like that, after the first date. And I think that that gives you what I think that answers what you're asking in elaborate. I'm going to look at it myself tonight, and maybe next time I can send you the link. Or if you make a comment somewhere, and if I find that, I will send a link on one of the videos. Just pick up one of the videos, make a comment. I'll see that comment, and then I'll reply with that link of what to do after first date, or you just finished the first date, something like that. What to expect, what to do, or something like that. Jaylee says, and it's scary, but I'm used to it now. Yeah. Excalibur says, it was summer, so I had my fan on, and the fan blades turned into chainsaw and were coming towards me. At this point, my heart was beating like 140 per minute, and I remember clearly whatever problems I had at the time, none of them meant shit. I just wanted to be alive and safe. Were you sleeping or you were awake? Put things in perspective and refreshes your priorities. Indeed. Adam says, if a woman is emotional and the man is emotional, how does the problem get solved? Well, if you're emotional, doesn't mean you're crying all the time. Being emotional doesn't mean you're a crybaby or you're sensitive so much. It just means you have capability to feel. And when you have capability to feel, then you can come up with better results, better response, better conclusions, better decisions, and then bring about better results. But if you don't feel, you can't understand. It's like saying, you keep touching something and you don't feel anything. Well, you're gonna hit your hand because you don't feel anything. You're gonna break your finger because you don't feel anything. You got to be able to feel things, but that doesn't mean to feel things means you're like a woman, or in the same degree of emotion that a woman feels about certain things. You would be a man who has ability to feel. Emotion is part of normality, part of being a human. It doesn't have anything to do with being a man or a woman. Everybody should have emotion. Now, the degree of it could differ, and it's different in men and women. But doesn't mean that just having emotion, then you're just like another person, man or woman. Your emotion level is different. But generally, man or woman emotional level are different, but they both have it and should have it. There should be a proper balance of feminine and masculine in a man, and there is a balanced amount of feminine and masculine in a woman. The mixture is different, but in order for you to be complete, you have both in you, which completes you as an alloy, as a person. You get pure gold. You can't make anything with it. You gotta inject some. You gotta have some copper or some other alloys in it in order to give it stability, shape, endurance, and character of gold to be able to work with it, make something, build something. And the other way around. When you have a steel so hard, if there is no softer steel into that alloy, you cannot have an amazingly strong sword. The samurai sword, if it was made only by that one kind of steel, it would be brittle, and the first moment you hit something, you're in a war or fight or whatever it is, it breaks. But if there is a softer, if you consider that metal being the male, if there's a little bit of a softness into that metal, then that sword becomes flexible yet strong and powerful to wield and build some things for that samurai. The samurai itself has masculinity, which is male, is masculine, but it must, like that steel, like that sword, have enough mixture of feminine in there in order to make that masculine complete, flexible, strong, and durable. Same thing with women. If they're all gold and soft, they won't hold shape. They gotta have a little bit toughness in them. That's the masculinity part. And the combination of it gives more beauty to hold all that wonderful characteristics of a woman in persona, in character, in understanding, in reacting, and so on. And that gives it that complete, perfect, feminine existence of a woman. This is the man must be the woman's rock. Yeah, well, it goes hand in hand. Yes, but you're too hard and you break and you can't do anything. You can't lift anything. If the man is more emotional than the woman feels, well, yeah, it's a different story. That's not what we're talking about, of course. You understand what I'm saying. Rashid says, I will be always grateful to you cause you have helped me a lot during my past breakup. Delighted to hear that, Rashid Jan. And don't forget to promote the channel. All the videos that you like, whether they're about relationships or whether they are about the psyche, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, and explains that, has nothing to do with the relationships. Whichever kind of the videos you like on this channel, then make sure you share them on your social media and promote the channel so more people will find us. And guys, remember, I'm always one Skype call away. Go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Click on Talk to Me for consultation, and make an appointment with me for exploring what is concerning you with this relationship or other matters in life. And as long as you, for the next while, I don't know how long it will be, but if you get an hour session of booking, then I will add another hour to it. So you will have enough time to discuss and explore your concerns. Jaylee says, Mehran, I think you skipped my question by accident. Oh, really? Where is it? Let's find it. Let's find it. I thought I looked at them all. Aha. There it is. Oh, there's a bunch of them. You wrote a book again. Oh yeah, I've missed other ones too. Farik, Stefan, I guess, it says, thank you for your answer. As always, yes, we interacted before. I'm surprised that you remembered. Okay. And Zahra or Zara Cruz says, my ex told me he wanted time off for a month. I found out he used this time to date someone else. Okay. Explain why he did what he did. Did he even love me? Why do you want me to explain? Ask him to explain. What the hell? What did I do here? Some commanding voice. Maybe that's why he went away. Look at the way you read right in here. Explain why he did that. What about, could you please explain? Could you please let me, why do you think he did that? Something of that nature. Maybe you're a little bit too rough. Zara, huh? What do you think? Am I making sense here with you? So, let's see. Well, I don't know why he did that. Possibly, whatever the reason was bad. He should not have been a coward and lied to you and then go out and date somebody else. He should have simply said, well, let's take a break from a relationship and you go out with whoever you want and I'll try to go out with whoever I might find suitable. And then let's see if we miss each other, or let's see if we prefer to discuss it further or not. That would have been okay. But just telling you I want space and not clearly saying it. But then again, why do you think when someone tells you, he wanted time off, why wouldn't you actually understand what that means? Why do you need him to actually be, although I expected him to explain more clearly, but why would you need it to be more clearly and not be able to actually expect that when he says, I want a time off? Time off for what? He's not working for you, so obviously he means he wants to have time off from relationship and pursue other possibilities, or, you know, I don't know, go out and things like that. So if you would have focused on the real, what he was saying, you wouldn't be surprised. But nevertheless, he didn't behave well, and he should have told you in a clear way. But if he actually meant to deceive you and say, I want time off to think, not that I really want to go out with somebody else, well, then, you know, obviously he's not clear with you, and that's not appreciated, of course. Jay Lee says, hi Mehran, male, 37, Toronto. Yes, hello Jay. And he says, oh, sorry guys. He says, Garçon, more tea please. No service here, no service here. No respect. No respect. As Rodney Dangerfield says, no respect, no respect. So Jaylee says, however, Jaylee says, your advice last time helped me a lot, and I kept watching it over and over again to get it into my head. Good. However, over time, I again started to get into missing her again, because you haven't chosen anyone to replace that position, to be able to provide you with the environment that you like. You want a girlfriend, you like to be in a relationship, you want to have a woman with you, around you, interact with her. You love women, which is great. And you miss that. Is not necessarily that you miss her. And because you haven't replaced, you haven't chosen anyone to come and take over that acting, that role in the theater of your life, you always see a vacuum in that role, in that theater, that the action, the life is going on. There's always, you say, oh, where is that actress? Where is that? It's missing. This theater is not functioning great because you haven't replaced it. And because you haven't replaced it, it's empty. You only see the one that was previously, most recently, was holding that post, that role. So that vacuum constantly makes you think that because you haven't replaced that role yet, you think that was the only person who would actually do a good job and fill that role and that place in that theater. And that's your mistake. You're constantly going out with somebody else and thinking about this one when you're there, comparing that one with the X one, and you're not giving a chance to the one you're actually with. And you actually, the problem lies within your own confidence level, that you are actually looking for someone to diss you or not be available. Then you would find her attractive. But the ones who are actually there for a relationship, you think they're not good enough because they're available to you. You want somebody to play game with you. And I don't think that's healthy. Don't allow it. Just keep looking. But when you're looking, don't keep thinking about the previous one, because you won't be able to see the one that you're looking at, you're interacting with. You will miss the chance to get to know if this new one is qualified, and then you miss the chance to actually choose her. And you think, oh, there's nobody to choose, because you're not looking at her. You're looking at her like a zombie, but you're actually seeing her. So I want her. How can you have an apple when you keep thinking, I want an orange, I want an orange, I want an orange, I want a different apple, I want red delicious, I don't want this, I don't know, Japanese apple or whatever, which is delicious by itself. So let me read the rest of your question. So over time, I again started to get into missing her again. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this, I feel, only by your thoughts, by your mind. You're following your thoughts, your feelings coming from your thoughts. And as long as you don't change your thoughts, you won't change your feelings. You won't change your feelings, you won't change your propensity towards, again, gravitating towards her. Because you're not changing your thoughts. Your feelings won't change, and your feelings will remain the same about her. You change your thoughts about the whole thing, her, and everything that went on between you two, and the way you look at life and other girls and so on, then your feelings will start changing. Your feelings changing, and therefore you're cutting the rope of your boat from the dock, and you start paddling away. It's like you're stuck to the dock and you expect to arrive to that island over there in the center of the ocean. You can't. You're holding on to this. Let go. Then we'll see how far you go. That rhymed. Let go, then we'll see how far you go. And don't forget that. Let go, then you'll see what other things are available, the opportunities that are out there for you to explore. Otherwise, you'll always look at every island and say, oh, it's a nice island, but I like here because I know all the stores and everything else. Let go. Change your thoughts, change your feelings. And then your gravitation will change. You become free. You start moving forward. And you know what's the ultimate thing? Okay, let's say you can't get rid of it in your mind. So what's the final? What are you gonna do? Where is it gonna lead? The fact that you rest on the idea that I can't forget her. The actual fact that you believe, you buy into it and say, okay, yeah, I give up. I can't. I don't know how. I can't forget her. Okay. But the fact is she's not available and she's not there. So what are you going to do? How are you going to live? Is that how you plan on going through life? Is that? If that's the case, then it reminds me of, Austin Power movie, Dr. Evil sitting around table with his son and all that, and says, that's how you want to continue life? Then he pushed the button and the son fell through. Almost he pushed the button. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you have a wrong idea, a conclusion, and you put yourself in a corner, a dead end, then obviously you will never have a way to go forward, because you've worked yourself in a dead end. There's nowhere. You've created a boundary. You've created an obstacle in front of you that there's no way you can go any further. You've resolved. You've concluded that. That's your final answer. No, I can't go on. So now what are you going to do? If that's your answer, what are you going to do? You're going to stay there, miserable all life? No. If you recognize that that's something that you maybe how much you want it, I don't care, how badly you want it, is not available, is not possible, then what do? You find a tangent and go forward on a different road, somewhere else. Look, you try and try and try again for something that you want to accomplish. That's admirable. But eventually there would be a time that you say it's not feasible. And then if you continue trying, that's stupidity, unreasonable. So first you try and try and try again, it's admirable. After a long time trying, you see it's not feasible. Then at that time, it's time to think that it's not reasonable to continue. Admirable, not feasible, therefore it's not reasonable. You've lost this reasoning. And you keep wanting to continue on something that it is proven to you it is not to your advantage, it's not available, and you should not simply focus on it anymore. And instead, don't miss wonderful opportunities and beauties that are out there. And you're sacrificing all that for some shitty idea that despite everything you know and it's proven to you, you think that shitty idea prevails and has cause you to think, no, that shitty idea is right. She's the right girl for me. What the fuck? If you're all about your dick and you can't rest until you fuck her or be with her, that's a wrong attitude of wanting a relationship, being in a relationship with this woman or any woman. You got to have respect for them and respect for yourself. Respect for them is to the point that she doesn't want to be with you for whatever reason. And respect for you that you should accept that and not want someone who doesn't want you. Instead, you're constantly thinking about what? What are you going to gain from a woman who doesn't want you? What do you want her for? If she doesn't want you, then there would be no conscious response. There would be no love. So what do you want her for? To fuck her? That's disrespectful to her. That's demeaning if you think woman is only for that, fucking. And that's disrespectful to you, because then it stops that thinking, stops you from actually going on and presenting yourself to more suitable candidates and see if you would find compatibility with them. Give yourself a chance and them a chance and have a positive relationship. So all these excuses are simply a notion for you that you don't respect yourself and you don't respect her. If you really love her or like her or you think she was all that, then respect her choice. If nothing else. If you don't even believe that she wasn't suitable for you, if you don't even believe, and which is proven to you beyond the shadow of the doubt through our discussion, that she's not qualified for you, if you don't believe any of that, the only thing you believe and you go on is your instinct about your hormones and your dick, then at least focus on the fact that loving her or wanting her, it means to respect her. And to respect her means let her be. Do not pursue her. Which brings respect to you. Because through this way of thinking, you're just losing respect for yourself. The more you lose respect for yourself, the more you will gravitate toward her. Because you think now what you have lost, which is your own respect, you can regain it if you can get her back. And because that's not possible, for whatever reason, her side, your side, whatever it is, then you are just in a no-end situation, no-win situation. And that brings you depression, brings you in all kind of bullshit. Now, recognize that if you really care about her, respect her wishes and let her go. That's respect. That's what you want. You want to be respectful to her. You like her. That's respect. So respect her means respect her wishes. Her wishes is to be her own life, have her own life. And respect yourself. Bring the respect back to you that you actually allowed this. You actually created this. Control and respect for her. You gave it to her. That brings respect for you because you've accepted the fact that you should now go on and that you deserve to have a wonderful woman that wants to be with you and respects you, appreciates you, all the good qualities that you have and you know that you have. In that way, you have respected her, you have respected your emotions towards her, you have respected yourself, and you've respected the ones that you are going to commit yourself to, which they deserve your full attention, not you're seeing with them and perceiving her. Doesn't make sense. You got to follow this before you can go forward. Just on the basis of respect. And become the boss of you rather than your desire, your ego, the pleasure become the boss of you and controls you. Your hormones, your dick, your desire, your pleasure, your ego. That should all be just part of your center. They're part of you. You're the boss. And if you're the boss, you command it. Say, that, for whatever reason I can't have, that's okay. It's time for me to find it not feasible. And it's time for me then to find it unreasonable to continue on that route. Therefore, I would like to have my freedom and enjoyment of life by going forward beyond and away from this island. Simple. Then you're free. He says, I talked with a friend of mine and he kept telling me that I should have balls and just go over to her place with flowers and ask her. No, never make a woman uncomfortable like that. If a woman has given you enough reasons that she doesn't want to be with you, you should respect that. If you really care about her, you should respect that. You shouldn't be focusing on that sort of shit, because that makes her uncomfortable. A woman doesn't want someone to constantly pester her. If she had any reason, any interest, she would have shown it. And woman doesn't work against her own desire. If she actually wanted this, she wanted to teach you a lesson or something, but she really wanted this to actually work, she would have given you enough clear hint. And not just hint, clear, by coming up with some kind of conditions or some kind of expectations, a communication. When she doesn't want to do any of that, why do you assume? Don't conjure up things, because that makes her uncomfortable and makes you feel you've lost your value of constantly being a doormat. Move on. Jay says, it sounds crazy, but my friends told me women want a guy that really wants them, and the fact that she cut me off like that means she was that much more hurt by what I did. Possibly, but at the same time, no means no. It doesn't mean just because a woman says no, it means, yeah, try harder. It's to some point, maybe. But once that point is already covered, you've already tried harder. You told me you've tried harder. You tried to contact her. You tried to see her. You tried to ask her to please sit down and talk with me. And every time she said no, if there was some kind of a suggestion from her that, okay, I'll see if I have time or whatever, then at least you would know something. But if you have already tried all these and she's already said no, then I don't think that she would be looking forward to see the guy to become a doormat until she says, okay, because if that's going to be taking for her to come back, she's going to come back and then she's going to dump you like a log, because that's what she's looking for. Because she didn't come back for you, because she already told you no, 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 no. And she now knows that you're a doormat. You'll do anything she wants. And she's never going to be attracted to that kind of man that does everything that she wants in any way, shape, or form with no backbone. So yeah, you may get her like that, but she will come to you knowing that you guys are not on equal terms. And that will turn her off. And eventually, after a while, the same problems still exist, and she will leave. And then you will be hurt even more. So what I'm trying to say is, you've tried all those, and there was no signal, positive signal for you to continue. Then anything more than that could be unpleasant to her, and don't make her uncomfortable. That's what I'm thinking. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I just like you to be a gentleman who protects women, rather than for your own desire you keep pushing where it is not reciprocated or appreciated by the woman. Jaylee says, so maybe she's testing me to see how much I will do to get her back. Oh, test? What kind of test? Why you guys think that all women out there are trying to test you? What test? When a woman likes a guy, she stops testing. There's no test. What test? It's not at school here. The ones who test you are not sure about what they have to offer. They want to get a hook on you. And they want to see what kind of a metal you're made out of, which is not normal. If you guys really are matched, two people are matched, they don't test each other like that. It's not calculated. The tests show themselves in day-to-day life, from outside to both of you or individually, and you guys, with the way you react, the other one sees how you react. That's a test. But it's not intentional test that I'm going to sit down and say, I create this kind of scenario and I'm going to see how she's going to behave. That's stupid. And I don't think any decent woman will gain anything by thinking this way. No decent girl, I don't think any decent girl will do this. The ones who do it, it's just a myth or stupidity. What test? What is this? What are you supposed to be subject to test? What test? Who is Almighty that is testing you? Where are these wonderful women that you think that they deserve to test you? Who are they? What have they accomplished? They're testing you? Why don't you guys just simply see how the life and social settings tests you both? And let that be the test, and both see each other's reactions and interactions and negotiations and compromises, and that would be the real test. The rest of it is what testing you? Nobody should. You shouldn't think that you know, she's. That means you already put her on pedestal. Oh, she's testing you. What testing for what? If that was the test, you know, so you test, you pass the test, then she's not going to be there, marry you, and she will be totally secure because you passed the test. Therefore, there's no chance that you will fuck up on any level in life. Or if you test her and she passed the test, yeah, she answered this and she handled it right. Therefore, there would be no chance that she would mess up life if I get into a relationship with. Is that what it's supposed to mean? What test? There's no meaning for that. And you shouldn't put up for that anyhow. Testing someone. Well, it's like playing with the tiger's tail. You keep testing it, well, it turns around and bites you, meaning it won't turn out good. You end up saying, okay, why are you testing me? Bye-bye. Go test somebody else. I want genuine, honest communication and relationship. So what test? Whoever does that is thinking a little too much. Jaylee says, I feel trapped because I am only so interested in her still. Yeah, because you want to be interested. Because you're not sure yourself. You think that her coming back to you is where your confidence is hidden. That's not true. Confidence is when you go forward and explore new things. This didn't work out. I have enough confidence to think, okay, I'll find something better. That's it. Move on. But what my friend said makes sense too. No, it makes sense because that's what you want it to make sense. You can try it if you like. It's not my suggestion or advice. I feel even if you try it and even if she feels whatever and comes back or whatever, it will be a short time. And at the same time, the same problems that caused this to be still there. The things that you didn't like about her is still there. But you can't think about it now because all you think by default is her femininity, the sex with her, and the interaction with her. That's all. You're not focused on the problems. Every problem that you thought she has is still in her. But by default, all comes to your mind is intimacy with her, sex with her, her beauty or whatever was turning you on physically. Because the stuff that you told me were not satisfactory or pleasant to you mentally about her or her qualifications. You know, remember? So, but they don't come to your mind right now. What it does come to your mind is what your ego says and what your desire for pleasure through her physical entity is what you're naturally, by default, thinking and remembering. Now, these are all things that, you know, I'm sure your friend means well for you and wants you to get the girl that you want. But you ultimately are the judge in that, not your friend and not me. These are all things that I can tell you from here because I don't really know the girl. I only know her through what you told me about her and how your relationship was and her motivations and the stories that you told me about her. All of that. Now, you're always welcome to try something that your friend says just to make sure that you've tried everything. But then you got to be convinced at one point, I don't know where that point would be with you, that, okay, it's not feasible, therefore no longer reasonable to pursue. That is the point that you got to come to. Now, however you're going to come to, whatever you're going to do, which I don't recommend it, because I think that still the problems exist even if she comes back. But whatever it is that you do, make sure it will be appropriate, in good taste. Make sure you will not make her uncomfortable. Make sure it won't turn into, I don't know, she calling, I don't know, police or something. In other words, don't stalk her. Just, I don't know. I don't want to give you that advice. That's something that you make a decision. And I just, from what you told me, I felt that it would be best for you to find another woman that would be most compatible to what you're looking for. So the rest of it is up to you, Jay. All right. Carpe Diem says, good afternoon, Mehran. Is there a way to have a group conversation with you? Meaning, and hear each other. Well, I don't know. I would like that, but I think that would have to be through a seminar or some kind of a interactive system, which I don't have that. And if I want to have that, I gotta, buy a program and pay the programmer to incorporate that into the site, and then it's unless people pay for it to want to get into it, the cost of it is just not feasible. But if I can, I was thinking about contacting Skype and see if it is possible for a bunch of people to join a group chat in there. If that is possible, then maybe I can put up a rate for that, and maybe 5 or 6 people at the same time can share a consultation fee and then attend at a certain time on Skype, and then each have maybe certain, if there are 4 people, each have maybe part of that duration of that appointment, while they benefit from each other's questions and discussions. That can be possible. Otherwise, I don't think it's that easy. I'll look into it and see how that works out. Yeah. Yeah, just be careful when you drive and listen to things so you won't take your focus away from driving. Excalibur. I'm sure you're aware of that. All right, so now I guess we are caught up from where I left. Jay Lee says, you're right, Mehran. I think the best way to do this is to respect her by letting her be. You're right. Oh, okay. I can show my respect and love to her by letting her go. Yes. And there are good news is there's so many wonderful, beautiful women out there that just, you can't finish counting them. All right.
Adam says, it's called the shit test. They all do this, Mehran. Honestly. They want to see if you're more emotional than they are. If you're weak, this is the reality of women today. They love these dramas. Well, but this is not normal. A woman who does that, it's not relying on logic and compatibility. It's relying on some nonsense, which most often, if somehow they would conclude that the person that they're testing passed the test, then they're convinced that that's the right person for them, right guy, which could be an actual asshole, but it happened to somehow be able to seem to them that this is a passing test. What does test mean? Someone who can do something in some way or respond to some question in some way doesn't mean that he knows the whole book. He knows the rest of the story. He knows how to handle everything else or something else. It just means in one fragment, one snapshot of one kind of a thing, that it met the expectations of the woman who's testing. What the hell does that mean? Doesn't mean he's wise or he's capable, he's provider or decent or settled or balanced or whatever. So whoever women does these kind of tests, I think they lack proper judgment, quality, and they're not sophisticated. They're looking for one thing in order to convince themselves, because they don't have any other way to gauge that person, because they haven't made anything out of themselves. They have no standards to know what standards is to expect. Therefore, they only go testing a person in a way, the only way they know how. Through see if he's emotional or not, or all that kind of bullshit, that whatever that is all about. And no man should really respond to when a woman tests him. That is unreasonable, disrespectful, and his lack of ability to interact, to find about each other, and accepting the fact that she's already higher than me, she can test me. Test for what? Come and have a relationship if you want, then we can test each other through the happenings of life. Then we know what the metal it is we're made out of. Then we decide, what is this test? It's, to me, it's very shallow, disrespectful to whoever is being tested. And nobody should be subjected to that or allow himself to be subjected to that. Now, if one says that they don't do this consciously, subconsciously, well, that's the purpose of the relationship, because everything is the way that you can gauge each other by seeing how you interact with the happenings of the daily life. That's what it is. Everybody is doing that, and it's happening automatically, unconsciously, without plans and design. So there's no need to have a plan for it. But the ones who have plans for it, but then they're not judging the person according to how they negotiate life. They're judging a person on one fragment and angle based on their own lack of ability to have standards and expectations. Excel says, I'm very sleepy, Mehran, just in time. Lol, I just wanted to tell you that during your stream yesterday, a caller, as you like to say, asked you about touching a wall 5 times and feeling safe. The way you explained the OCD was perfect. Yes, thank you. I have a video on the channel about OCD, and if somebody wants to watch it, take a look at it. And I believe I have that in the book too, Me, My Psyche and I, and the Transient Thoughts and Me. I think if you look at the table of contents, you will see that it's there or not. All right. Okay, guys, looks like we hit all the questions finally. It's, 3 hours and 25 minutes. My goodness. All right. Well, thank you very much for giving me time to share all these times with you, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I love you all and hope to talk to you soon. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Okay. Okay. Saman.